Yeah, so of course the question to seeing those two quick little effects is, could they be done in real life? I mean, all the magic that we see, we have to try to decide what to learn, because what's going to work on social media and what's not going to. And trust me, that move, which you can use in a lot of different ways, works in real life. And it works in real life pretty much for the same reason that this oldie but a goodie works. Have a look. So the big question I always get is, does this rubber band magic stuff work in real life, in person? And yeah, I mean, you can walk up to someone and say, hey, do you want to see a rubber band trick? Sorry, I had to stop to laugh. There is a lady with two cute little kids, like one really small, carrying her in her arms, maybe like a year old or something, and the other one's like 2. It's got like some kind of little doll, and they stopped at the end of our laneway where there's a big block of snow, like a nice boulder, sort of separate from everything. There's still a lot of snow here, and I mean, all the other snowbanks are really tall, so this little kid couldn't really play on them. But so this little boulder, you know, it's just inviting, and they've got their doll playing on it, and it's kind of like they're climbing the boulder, and it's jumping off the boulder and that kind of thing. And then the mother's just flipping out, comes along. It's just, and the kid's so confused, right? They're having so much fun with this nice little boulder, waiting for their mom to kind of catch up. I guess their mom was walking with the little tiny one slowly back farther down the street, and then, you know, they picked him up to run up and catch up with the other kid, because we have 4 dogs, so there's a lot of yellow snow. Enough said. Anyway, the mother was livid, grabbing the kid, pulling him away from the boulder and getting him moving on with their doll, and the kid's just like, what's going on? We're having fun. So anyway, yeah, I mean, if you wanna just walk up to someone and grab their attention, rubber bands, man, it's not like a card trick. I mean, a card trick, cards are great because cards say magic. They say magician. You pull out a deck of cards, I mean, you know, and someone sees you kind of doing anything even halfway fancy with them, they're like, oh yeah, he could do a card trick. So, I mean, I think for that reason, magicians rely on cards a lot. And I mean, cards, of course, they're super visual. They look big, but really they're pardon the pun, paper thin. So they look big, but you can all do all this wild stuff with them because actually they're so thin. That's the whole illusion behind it. And of course, they're all differentiated. So, I mean, you have the fact that there's different suits and different numbers, and there's just so many reasons why cards are good. But bands are good too. You could do stuff with bands. And what I find is, with bands, they're, for lack of a better explanation, they're elasticy. They're stretchy and snappy. Like they kind of work weird anyway. Like they kind of move weird anyway. It's sort of, I mean, people don't really understand, you know, the average person doesn't understand why elastics have elastic properties, you know. So, I mean, they kind of are a good curiosity, friggin' easy to carry, and you can get all kinds of different colored ones. Often I work with just black and white, but you know, you can get a lot of different colored ones and have a lot of different variations. And they do make, you can get bands in different shapes. Like when you stretch them, they look like a regular band, but when they close down, they make a shape. So there's a lot of possibilities. Anyway, you know, so I mean, like with a boy and a girl band, I don't even know if you can say that anymore, but you know, There's the boy band, there's the girl band, and the boy band shows off for the girl band, right? And does his little tricks like that. And the girl band slips right through his fingers. You know, there can be a whole story behind that where, boom, the girl band can just, you know, sneak through his fingers like that. And I love this one. The last one's always really good because, you know, it really looks like the real thing. Anyway, that's my favorite routine. But yeah, the big question is, can bands be done in person? Absolutely. Yeah, so you see, you know, bottom line, this stuff can be done in real life, and bands are super easy to carry. There's no reason not to have a couple of effects with them and make them part of your everyday carry. Like, there's just no reason not to. Especially considering you can wrap them around a deck of cards and stuff like that. I've often noticed with a card routine, especially if you have a fairly good effect, not just as your opener, but like in your routine, sometimes it's hard to follow it up. Like, people wow when you do a card trick and then you're trying to make the next one different, but they're looking for slightly more of a wow. So I think I like the bands with cards because you can kind of break that natural trend towards people going, oh wow, that's even more wow, by doing a trick where you wrap a band around the deck and produce the card that way or something like that. It sort of helps change the direction of things. And yeah, so get yourself some bands, says the Magic Buzz. See ya next time.